Volleyball touchdown. Cody Schrader. Missouri retakes the lead. From the end zone.
Cook
throws one.
Set the pace when I'm running. I always aim for the front end. I always give it 100. Don't need a beat when I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always aiming for something. Don't take for granted. Say I'm in. I wake up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Earning Our Stripes. I'm Brock Gordon.
And I'm Benjamin Duncan.
For the first time this year, it's not a victory podcast.
That is correct.
Ben is in despair. He said he has been broken.
Yes. I've been broken and I've lost all hope.
Which I'm gonna tell all y'all why that should not be the case this week. But other than that, Ben, I'm sure we'll hear how you're doing later on here on the podcast when you go into a deep dive, because you were in attendance for this game.
Yeah. It was a good game, and then those last 3 minutes broke me.
Well, as I'll describe later, there have been much
great game.
There have been much worse Mizzou games and Mizzou endings that haven't broken me, so I will tell you all why I'm still kind of hopeful. Anyway, should we get right into this?
Yes.
All right. The attendance was another sellout, 62,621, including Mr. Benjamin Duncan in attendance. Brady Cook, 30 for 47, 411, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those was a game-sealing pick six. Cody Schrader, 13 carries, 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. Burden led the way in receptions with 11 for 149. Theo Weiss Jr. and Ben Norfleet, each with a touchdown for the Tigers. Brady fumbled the ball twice, but it was both times recovered by Mizzou. And Mizzou scored a season-high 39 points in the 49-39 loss to LSU. Ben, the floor is yours. Before I get into why not to be so heartbroken yet.
That game, such a good game, but man, that was one of, if not the most Mizzou losses to a football game you could ever have happen. That pick six hurt so much because we had a chance to come back, and then that ended the game right there. Certainly a cold moment for LSU fans to look back on, but just that really hurt. And all of my LSU friends were making fun of me after the game. So
Let them.
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Well, here's why I'm going to cheer you up and all these other Mizzou fans that might be kind of down right now. This is not the most Mizzou loss I've ever seen. Not even fucking close. 2013, there might have been a game that some of you might remember, some of you might not. Mizzou lost to number 20 South Carolina at home in double overtime thanks to a missed field goal from Andrew Baggett. That was a more painful loss than this one. In 2014, Mizzou lost by 4 points to Indiana, who was unranked at the time. Mizzou was number 18. That was more painful than this loss to LSU this week. I will now take you to the glorious 2015 season where Mizzou lost to Kentucky in Kentucky, 21-13. That was a more painful loss than the one to LSU this year.
That one did hurt. But this game just crushed everyone's hopes and dreams, though, for real, though.
Again, I don't know how it would have crushed everyone's hopes and dreams. This wasn't even the most heartbreaking loss. Kentucky, 20-18. 1 point loss to Kentucky at home. Mizzou had them on the ropes and just fell short. That was a more heartbreaking loss than this LSU one. Mizzou on the road in 2019 loses by 6 to Wyoming week 1. That was a more painful loss than this LSU one. On the road at Vanderbilt, ranked, loses by 7. That was a more painful loss than this LSU one.
Mm.
2020, ranked against Georgia at home, getting blown out 49-14. That was a more painful loss than this one to LSU. '21.
A lot of tough losses.
Loss on the road in overtime to Boston College. That, in overtime, that was a more painful loss than this one. And then 2022. How quick ye all soon forget. Auburn, 3-point loss in overtime. Georgia, 4-point loss at home. Florida, pick 6 ends the game. Kentucky, lose on a horrible call by the referees. How quickly?
Yes, a lot of horrible calls by the referees.
How quickly y'all forget the worst that this team has had in losses? This is nothing. You want a better way to look at it, Ben?
Sure.
How about this? Mizzou just hung around with a team whose quarterback is probably going to win the Heisman this year.
There's potential.
And not only hung around and was going to win, they were in the driver's seat to do so until the refs screwed Mizzou a little bit, and then Mizzou screwing Mizzou.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to say that now. There is plenty of hope. The remaining schedule for Mizzou is not hard. It's really not.
Yes.
Kentucky this week. Homecoming against South Carolina. Between the Hedges and Georgia. Tennessee, Florida, Arkansas.
We are in the driver's seat of our destiny this year.
I told you this last week. I'm going to stick by it. Mizzou still has a chance to go to the SEC championship game.
We're not losing to Oklahoma twice this year.
I was thinking more 2013, how the heartbreaking loss to a ranked South Carolina team, and then they rattled off the remaining wins, and they went to the championship game.
Yes.
2014, heartbreaking loss to Georgia, rattled off the remaining wins, went to the SEC championship game. I'm sticking by my 10-2 prediction. I don't know if you're wavering on yours whatsoever, where you're 9-3 and now you're going, oh, I think we might be 7-5, but I'm sticking with mine. Because the way I've seen this team play this year, there's not a team in the SEC Mizzou can't beat.
I would hope so.
Name one team that Mizzou can't beat on their best day. Because I'll say it right now, that LSU game, that was not Mizzou's best.
That is true.
So if Mizzou had played their best, imagine what that would have been.
I'm not sure, man.
So that's what I'm going to say. It's not all doom and gloom, Tiger fans. The sun is still shining on the M-Rock And when they head down to Lexington this week to take on a ranked Kentucky team, I have a very strong feeling that Mizzou is going to pull off the victory, and they will once again be ranked for homecoming against South Carolina. So, Ben, your thoughts?
We need to destroy South Carolina.
One team at a time. Kentucky's who's on the schedule first.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Kentucky's running back scares me.
He did too for me until I got into the breakdown, and I'll break it down a little bit more on Know Your Enemy this week, because he really just had one game that's made him that good, and it was against Florida. So, Anyway. Miscellaneous Mizzou news before we get into the rest of the segments here. Mr. Benjamin.
All right, miscellaneous. Here we go. Mizzou women's volleyball lost 3-1 versus number 22 Kentucky at home the other day, and then proceeded to lose 3-1 at number 13 Arkansas. They play Alabama the day this hopefully goes up on Wednesday.
Hopefully, I like how you said that, hopefully.
Yeah. And they are home against Ole Miss on Sunday. So you guys should go out and watch the Mizzou women's volleyball play Ole Miss on Sunday.
Yeah,
women's soccer.
We should.
Women's soccer, they had a loss at Ole Miss 2-1. They had a tie against number 13 South Carolina at home. And they play Vanderbilt on Friday. On Friday the 13th in October. Then, Brady Cook's SEC record for passes without an interception ended at 365 passes. So that is the SEC record to beat now. Still, congratulations, Brady. You had a heck of a run with that streak. Mizzou broke ground at the MU Research Reactor, expanding the facility with the MU Research Reactor West. The 47,000 square foot addition will boost nuclear science research and life-saving medical isotope production. Remember how SICO committee had Mizzou ranked number 1 with power from their nuclear power plants? Remember, Brock?
It's going to be even higher now.
It's going to be even higher, so we're still going to be number 1.
We are number 1. Hey.
Tickets for the MU rivalry at the rink on February 29th, 2024 are going for as low as $17 right now.
What is this?
MU rivalry at the rink?
Is that KU?
Yes, it is.
February 17th?
29th.
29th.
If I remember correctly, let me check.
Please tell me it's some other time. Good Lord. Because they're going to play on a Thursday?
I had a picture of it on my phone here somewhere. Let me try to find it.
I don't know. I'm just saying it'd be a little weird for a Thursday. But
Yep,
know.
there it is. Missouri versus Kansas rivalry at the rink. Thursday, February 29th, 2024, 7 p.m.
Oof.
At Cable Dahmer Arena.
Yeah, that's the part I knew. It was at Cable Dahmer. I might have to call in sick that day.
I could possibly make that with my work schedule. I could make that work.
Say it's not a hard one to make work. I'm not going to lie.
It'd just be a quick shower, but I could make that work, potentially. But yes, tickets are going for as low as $17 right now. on Ticketmaster.
We show up to that in all Mizzou gear, like we would normally do for like a football game. That'd be crazy.
For club hockey, yes, sir. From my Kentucky SEC tubas, I have learned that the Mizzou versus Kentucky is sold out.
Good for them.
There in Kentucky. The homecoming parade and homecoming game time have been announced. With the SEC hating us and never giving us anything good, the homecoming game against South Carolina has been announced as a 2:30 kickoff on Saturday the 21st, meaning that the homecoming parade is at 9 a.m. sharp.
Which isn't terrible.
I had to do that multiple times during school there. So, not fun. Brady Cook was awarded the Manning Award for Quarterback of the Week. Is that just SEC only award, Brock?
No, that is a one that I don't know. It might be.
Or is it all college?
Don't know.
Then we have Jeremy Maclin got his at the LSU game this weekend. His spot on the Mizzou Ring of Honor was given to him, and where his name is on the Ring of Honor was the section I was sitting in, so I got to see him and Chase Daniel and all that, so that was pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
And Jeremy Maclin will be going into the College Football Hall of Fame in December.
Well deserved as well, by the way.
Well, yes. We have some game times that have been released for Mizzou basketball.
Yes, we do.
On the Big Ten Network, at Minnesota on November 16th is at 8 p.m. for the at Kansas game.
I'm sorry, but the Minnesota one's such a gross time.
Yeah. The at Kansas game on ESPN on December 9th is 4:15 p.m.
Another gross time.
And I was looking on Ticketmaster, and the cheapest ticket for the MUKU basketball game on December 9th at Kansas. Would you like to take a guess, Brock?
I'm going to go $6,000.
No.
Okay, well.
$295.
Well, good Lord.
Yeah, I will not be going to that game.
Nope.
And then, finally, for this basketball game time, on FS1 versus Illinois in Columbia on December 22nd.
Shouldn't be in Columbia. Shouldn't be in Columbia.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It should be in St. Louis.
Oh, my bad. It just says versus Illinois, so I thought
It's
in Columbia.
St. Louis.
So it's in St. Louis.
Yeah. That's why I said it like that. I'm like, it shouldn't be in Columbia. Should be in St. Louis.
In St. Louis, my bad, everyone. But at 8 p.m.
Another gross time, but you know, it is what it is.
Then we have... What else do we have? Luther Burden is leading the SEC and all of college football that I know of with 793 receiving yards on the season so far.
I can tell you in 1 second if he's still leading the nation. By the way, non-Mizzou related, but as it currently stands, it looks like the Texas Rangers are about to knock the Baltimore Orioles out of the playoffs. And yes, he is still leading the nation in receiving yards. But it's not looking good for your prediction there for your World Series.
Interesting. And then
Brady Cook is currently fifth in the nation in passing yards, by the way.
That's crazy.
Fifth. Just saying. Oh man, wait. Okay, keep going. This just sparked something in my head. Keep going.
Then let's see. I was able to see my boy Jason, LSU Sousa, and Connor, LSU Sousa, while I was at the game and went to go say hi. And whenever I went to go shake Jason's hand and dap him up, and catch up with him, I caught him eating a field glizzy with no sauce.
No sauce, but did he have a drink?
There was no drink there.
No drink?
That I know of.
Sus as hell. I think your buddy might be, oof.
But, then, you shared with me Mizzou's bowl game prediction.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about this. So, to preface, I do think it says who made it up above. Does it not?
It just says college football current bowl projections.
Okay, so these are the current bowl projections. We did not do this.
From Big Game Boom.
From where?
From Big Game Boom.
There you go.
Big Game Boomer on Twitter.
Okay, so if you would, Mr. Ben, who is Mizzou supposed to play and where?
Mizzou is supposed to play Iowa in the Citrus Bowl.
Do you have any guesses where the Citrus Bowl is?
Isn't that in Florida or something?
It is. It is in Orlando at Camping World Stadium. Last year's Citrus Bowl matchup was Purdue getting the crap kicked out of them by LSU 63-7. The year previous to that was Kentucky and Iowa's thriller that they had, where it was a 20-17 game. So it is all Mizzou has, by the way, played in this bowl game before. Back in 2015, the 2014 season, Mizzou played against Minnesota and won 33-17. So, 'tis a bowl that Mizzou has been to before, and it's usually between at least one ranked team. And from either my apologies, Mizzou has been here several times. Mizzou also played and won the Citrus Bowl in 1981 against then-ranked Southern Miss 19-17. Keep going back here. See what else they've done. That looks like the only other time that they've done it. So Mizzou's been there twice before. It is not an uncommon thing for Mizzou. Thoughts on the Citrus Bowl? It would be played in January, by the way.
I'd be okay with that.
I would personally...
A game that's not on Christmas, I'm happy with that.
They have the official date announced. I gotta look at it again. January 1st.
Oh.
So it's a New Year's Day bowl.
Well, I'd have off work.
I would have that off of work as well. But, we'll see how Mizzou does. And then we'll go from there as to talking about if we want to go to a Mizzou bowl game this year.
I just find it funny that they have Iowa up there.
Both teams currently have the same record. They're both 5-1. All right, Ben, it's time to know your enemy, powered by bcardentertainment.com. The University of Kentucky Wildcats from Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky actually leads the all-time series 9-4, winning the last two meetings against Mizzou. The head coach of the Wildcats is Mark Stoops, brother to Bob Stoops. If you remember him, he was the very successful coach at Oklahoma. Mark Stoops has been at Kentucky since 2013. He has a record of 71-60 in that time span. Georgia beat the absolute living dog crap out of the Wildcats 51-13 last week. Kentucky is another balanced team that Mizzou's going to play this week. 169 passes to 156 rushing attempts. Starting quarterback for the Wildcats, Devin Leary. Ben, do you recognize that name at all?
You said Devin Leary?
Yes.
He was a quarterback somewhere else.
He was the quarterback at NC State last year.
That's right.
92 for 168, 1,257 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. The running back room is led by Ryan Davis. Now, folks, I'm going to give you a stat line and then break down what he's actually done in the game. 91 carries, 653 yards, 8 touchdowns. He had one monster game against Florida where he got 280 rushing yards. However, in all the other games, he is averaging 74.6 yards a game. So pump the brakes on him just right now. The Wildcats have 5 different receivers with over 100 yards. Tavon Robinson leads the way for him with 21 receptions for 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ryan Davis leads the team in receiving touchdowns with 4. So we've talked about funky defenses, right, that Mizzou's going to come up against. This one takes the cake. Tentatively, I'm going to call it a 3-3-5, but at times it could be a 4-2-5 or a 3-2-6. Wildcats load bringing a blitzing linebacker off the edge and even sometimes up the middle. No lineman is in the top 6 in tackles for them, as it's all their secondary. They like to rotate out their jack and star positions, which can be a linebacker or a defensive back on any given play for Kentucky. For the first time this year, Ben, we also have a common opponent comparison, as the common opponent for both these teams is Vanderbilt. Kentucky won 45-28. Mizzou won 38-21, same margin of victory for both teams. Kentucky is averaging 34 points a game in FBS competition. Remember, we are no longer counting FCS opponents, and is giving up 22 points a game. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kentucky Wildcats. There you go. So now you know your enemy a little bit better, Ben. Are you still terrified about the running back for Kentucky?
No, it just seems like he had a game where he popped off.
It was against Florida.
That's the reason his stats are so flushed.
Inflated, yes. If he didn't have that, he'd be sitting at about 3-something on the year.
Yeah.
About 3 and some change. So, yeah. So there you go. It's time for the mailbag. Mailbag.
Let me see if there was actually anything or not.
Okay.
Comments?
I didn't give my keys for the game. I'll give it to the keys at the end here.
That's all right. We have one comment, and it was on our K-State game from this season.
Again?
With your face on it that just hit 600,000.
600,000? Wow.
Shoot, I wish 600.
Wow, 600,000 people have seen my face. That actually might be about right.
But from @RowdyMan1463. He said, "You guys had a rough time last year. Enjoyed the video and will be cheering for Mizzou the rest of the way."
We did have a rough time that year before.
So shout out Rowdy Man.
Just end it already! A phrase that has ended, if you'll notice, every single one of the hype videos so far this year. I have done that on purpose. So, anyway. Is that all you got for the mailbag?
Yes.
Okay, well. If you have any questions that you want to send me or Ben, go ahead and leave a comment or message us on social media. Because we want to hear from y'all. What are you all thinking about this Mizzou team this year? How are you feeling? Are you in the same boat as Ben, as it's all doom and gloom and the season's over and this is going to be the end of it all? Mizzou's not going to win another game or however the heck he's feeling. Or are you like me, where you're still very optimistic? It's just been one game. Get that one Mizzou game out of the way now. So that way we can focus on hopefully get to where we're heading down to Atlanta. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Because that's still in the realm of possibility right now, which is crazy to think about. Anyway. Ben, ready for predictions?
Yes.
All right, we'll start with this. Are you staying with your 9-3 for the season for the Tigers?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You have not lost faith yet. Good. I'm definitely still staying
This made me feel better.
Huh?
This recording has made me feel better.
Of all the examples that I've given you and such?
Yes.
I'm very much still sticking with my 10-2. I think if there's another loss Mizzou has this year, it's going to be Georgia. Is that really a surprise for anyone? I do believe when it started, I said that we would probably lose to LSU and Georgia. Tennessee, as I thought, is looking more and more like a very winnable game. So that is a great positive for the Tigers. I was about to say the over-under, but we already know now it's a sellout, so never mind. I'm not going to do that one anymore. What I will do, Mr. Benjamin, over-under 28 points given up by Mizzou.
Under.
Under? Okay. Over-under 33 points scored by the Tigers.
How many points?
33. That is what they're averaging this year. So against only
over.
FBS comp. You're going to take the over?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're thinking it's going to be that type of game for Mizzou this week. Okay. Ray Davis. 75 yards this game. Over under.
Was he the running back?
He is the running back.
You said under 175?
75. Over under 75.
Over.
You think he's going to get over 75 yards?
Yes.
Okay. Over under Ray Davis. 1.5 touchdowns.
Under.
Okay. I gotta do some quick math here. Hang on. Ignore me. Vamp. Vamp, Ben. I said vamp. Talk about something.
Huh?
Talk about something while I do this math real quick. Surprisingly enough, I didn't have everything ready to go.
I did a lot of driving for work today. We drove to a bunch of different locations.
Okay, thank you. I now have it.
It was cool.
Over under 88 yards for Cody Schrader.
Over.
Over like Rover? So, hang on. So, okay, then I'll pose that to you. How many yards will he have? And I'm totally not vamping because I'm trying to do the math for this next one.
Wait, I said over how many yards?
88.
I want him to get like 110.
110? Okay. Slightly less than what he had this past week. Oh, my God. So, that's not terrible. Not great, but not terrible for the Schrader. Oh, okay. Wow, that came out a very clean number. Way cleaner than I thought. All right. Brady Cook. 341 passing yards. Over, under?
Over.
Over? Okay. I will say this. He has gone over in all but two out of the last 5 games. So, over under passing attempts for one Mr. Brady Cook, 35.
Over.
Okay. Over under touchdowns for Brady Cook, 2.5.
Over.
Okay. And finally, over under turnover differential for the Tigers, 1. So will they have more takeaways or less takeaways than Kentucky will? And I will say that with
more.
Kentucky has the number one, the guy leading the nation in interceptions right now.
We'll have more. We'll take more turnovers from them than they will of us.
Okay. And in the background, I'm wondering if you can hear Bandit starting to growl at something outside. Bandito! Silencio! He only understands Spanish. Sorry, folks. You can buy tickets for this Mizzou-Kentucky game for as low as $72 right now, by the way. Ben. Yeah.
What?
Ben goes to Lexington. $72 for a ticket.
Heck no.
What? It's a night game. You can do it. Hello, Ben. Hola, bandito. Hola. ¿Cómo está? Oh. Good God, he burped in my face. That's gross. All right. It's time for our score predictions. Last week, Ben said that Mizzou would win 34-31, and I said Mizzou would win 38-35. I wasn't too far off on Mizzou's score. I was terribly off by LSU's. So, I think you're saying that you have Mizzou winning this one?
Yeah, let's win this one.
Okay. And what are you giving as a score prediction?
We'll go 32.
You said that Mizzou would score over 33 points, by the way.
Oh, sorry. 34.
Okay. And you
26.
Okay, that is definitely in the under for what you said Mizzou would give up. Well, they increased by 1 point.
Did I say the right thing? Sorry.
Yes, you did. Because I said you said they would have Kentucky would score less than 28. So, well, I'm gonna say this because Mizzou has gone up in points this entire year since they started playing FBS competition. I do not count FCS. We all know this. FCS games are not a good telltale unless you get blown out like Nevada and you lose 33-0. And then that's a perfect way to measure how terrible you are this season. I'm going to say Mizzou increases their point total again. Mizzou 40. Kentucky 35. Kentucky 31. I think it might be a 9-point win for the Tigers. All right, it's now time for my keys to the game for Mizzou. First off, Brady Cook, be more careful throwing the ball. I think that's a given.
Yes.
Very much given. Run the damn ball, because Kentucky is not that strong against the running game, as seen so far this year when they play competent running backs. They have not played a lot of competent running backs this year, but the ones they have busted against them pretty dang good. Now, I'll also say this, Kentucky's opponents this year, so when I say, 34 points a game, 34 points on average a game and 22 points against a game, keep in mind, Kentucky has played Akron, Ball State, Florida, Vanderbilt, and Georgia. So, keep that in mind. Mizzou is out here playing Middle Tennessee State, and LSU, Vanderbilt, Kansas State, Memphis. Kentucky's playing MAC schools. Mizzou's playing gets the Big 12. Run the ball, and of course, the defense. Stop getting ejected. I will say that's probably the main reason Mizzou lost, was Johnny Walker got ejected from the game for getting his second personal foul of the game. If he doesn't go down, I think Mizzou wins the game. So, there I go. Those are my keys to the game. So to review, Ben has Mizzou winning a 34-26, an 8-point win. I have Mizzou winning 40-31, a 9-point win. Ben, any final thoughts before we start wrapping things up here?
I need us to win, please. I want there to be hope again.
There is hope. There is always hope. This is Mizzou we're talking about. This isn't, Nebraska.
True. That is very true.
So, there is hope. Stop being so down, Tiger fans. It's not a bad one. We've seen much darker games than this. A pick six to end the game, not the first time we've seen that. We're fine. Ben, what you got coming out this week?
The game day vlog for the LSU Mizzou game. You guys will be able to see firsthand all the pain I went through for that game.
Ben is home in Liberty this week.
That is true.
Next week, however, you'll still be in Kansas City, but you will be with one Mr. Tommy Haley for Planet Anime.
Yes, that is true.
Looking
forward to that.
You want to plug that and talk about if you want to see any of the fans there?
If you guys like anime and stuff, me and Tommy will be there on all day Saturday probably. I think it's there at Bartle Hall. Get your tickets now and not at the door, because at the door it'll be more expensive.
Next week is the last normal podcast we're going to do for a little bit, because it'll be a prep for, review of Kentucky, prep for South Carolina, and then after that, Mizzou's got a bye week. So
yes, sir, on my birthday bye week.
So we will do a review of the South Carolina game, and then I don't know what we're going to do, because then we'll have just the preview for Georgia that following week. So, I don't know. Hopefully Mizzou, when does Mizzou basketball tip off?
I don't know.
When can we start talking about Coach Gates? When can I talk about Dennis?
Dennis.
And how much I love a man named Dennis. Mizzou season kicks off November 6th.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. We get to talk about college basketball coming up. Wow, they get right into it. November 6th, it's against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then November 10th, so a month from today, they play Memphis. Wow, okay, so we will have we get to cover that then next week, or that week as well. And they play a game on that Monday, and then they have Minnesota, then Jackson State, and South Carolina State, and Loyola, and then Pitt. Why are we playing Pitt? What the hell? Why are we playing Pitt? And then December 17th. December 17th, my good friend. Me and you in the Sprint Center for Mizzou versus Seton Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Wait, when's that again?
December 17th. It's a Sunday.
Okay,
Sunday.
That'll work.
I had to drag that out. I had to drag that out. I'm like, Sunday. Yes. Sunday. Watch your Mizzou Tigers play basketball against a team from the Big East. Anyway. Ben has that coming out. Big Time Talkers, the podcast is over on the main B Card YouTube channel. In fact, it's been live now since we've been talking here, as it just went live today. Like, just now, as I'm looking at it, it just went live. So, that's live. Go give that a listen. We're talking about some... We rank our favorite fruit. Yes, our favorite fruit. Think about that for a second. We're ranking fruit on a podcast. Who else is doing that, huh? Who else is doing that? Ben, do you know of a podcast that's doing that other than us?
What?
Can you think of another podcast that's ranking fruit?
I don't know any off the top of my head.
Okay, well, there you go. All right. That's all I got. You got anything else?
I have nothing.
Okay. Can't wait for that
I know.
vlog to go live. And then me and you get to hang out someday.
Yes, we are hanging out because you're finally going to get your birthday present.
Yay! And we'll probably record something stupid together. Why not?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Like TikTok dances or something. I don't know.
Oh, God, no.
What are the kids doing nowadays? What TikTok dance? I sound so old saying this. I'm only 24, and I'm saying this.
Dude, I don't know. I've barely been on social media since I started my new job, bro. Like, I barely even open Snapchat anymore. Like, I open it just enough to reply to streaks.
Yep.
And, like, so I don't even watch, like, I barely watch. I watch the stories of the people I have streaks with, but everything else I don't. Yeah. So it's like I have no idea what's going on right now, social media-wise.
That's how I know you and Tommy have gotten mature. Me and Tommy rarely talk on Snap. Same with you. We only text each other.
Oh, yeah.
God. Next thing you know, we'll be exchanging LinkedIns or something. Ugh.
Hey, that LinkedIn go crazy, though.
LinkedIn do go crazy. I know there's people that have met their wives on LinkedIn.
See, I need to start doing that, man. That's why I follow, like, any girls that show up on, like, LinkedIn recommended to follow. I always add them.
What the heck? That's kind of sad, actually. Anyway, slowly and surely, as Ben's apparently losing his mind following girls on LinkedIn to try and date them, we are earning our stripes.
Oh, God, no. It's a joke, everybody.
I can't tell with you anymore, honestly, which is kind of sad. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to this edition. I've been Brock Gorton. I can be found on Twitter at Brock Gorton99. The B, the G are capitalized. The B-Card Twitter account's back up and running. You can follow the B-Card Twitter account at B_card_ENT. The B, the C, and the E are capitalized on that. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy stuff coming out from our social media manager this week.
Yes.
Ben?
And I've been Benjamin Duncan. You can find me at EliteTigerSports1 on Twitter. The E, the T, the S are capitalized. And if you're listening to this podcast, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, please. I'd very much appreciate it.
Yes,
I was kind of cringe saying that because everybody else does.
You didn't. There's a reason why it's probably the best that my camera wasn't going. You couldn't see what I was doing when you were saying that.
Brock was cringing so hard.
Oh my god, it was bad. Oh, it was bad.
If you're listening to this, why aren't you subscribed to the channel?
Subscribe to us on Patreon.
If we hit a certain amount, we'll get Tommy to do something stupid.
Tommy will dance shirtless. No, we wouldn't do that. We're not at the Patreon level yet.
No.
Anyway, I've been Brock Horton.
I've been Benjamin Duncan.
Have a wonderful rest of your week, folks. MIZ.
ZOU.